Freddie wakes up at 7 a.m. But hold up, didn't he go sleep at 3 a.m.? That means he only slept 4 hours, Freddie. Anyway, he rushes to school after eating his fucking Cheerios. And he gets to school all tired, sleeps through all his lessons, and his testosterone is a complete load of shit. It is rock bottom, and it is not where it's meant to be. Apollo's testosterone is through the roof. He eats eggs every morning, and his semen count is significantly higher than Freddie's will ever be. He has power throughout the day and can stay awake throughout his lessons and pay attention. He can also power through at the gym and get those last reps where you have to really push and where you really have to push hard in order to see results. Today, I'm going to explain to you which 5 habits are killing your testosterone and how you can fix it today. Let's get straight into this shit, bro. The first habit, which is absolutely killing your testosterone, is getting poor sleep. And by poor sleep, I mean anything less than 6 hours. Most of your testosterone is produced during your deep sleep. So if you're not getting that deep sleep, aka your REM stage, then you're not producing as much testosterone as you could. If you're severely sleep deprived, after just 1 week, your testosterone levels can decrease from 10 to 15%. That's a heavy hit. That's a very heavy hit. So just take that into account next time you want to go to sleep late, doing all this bullshit like scrolling, staying up, eating bullshit. Go to sleep at an adequate time. Get good sleep. A study from the University of Chicago proved this themselves. They found that young men who slept only 5 hours a night for a week had significantly lower testosterone levels than when they had a full night's sleep. And it's not only the amount of hours which you sleep, but also the quality of your sleep. So there's a few things you can do to improve your environment and obviously optimize your sleeping conditions on top of obviously sleeping 7 to 9 hours each night. One of the things you can do to improve your sleep significantly is to sleep in a dark room. Try to make your room as dark as possible. Maybe you've got blinds that are like sort of transparent and allow light to come through from outside. Don't have that. Try and replace them for curtains which are fully blacked out, which fully stop the light from coming into your room. Think of it as an investment. It's not an expense, it's an investment because you're getting more health benefits out of it. You only have to pay what, £15, just something light, and then you can use them for the rest of time. Your sleep will improve, your focus will be better the next day, more REM sleep, more overall benefits to you. Another thing which you can do is sleep in a cold room. Not completely cold, but you want to opt for a room which is slightly cooler because that helps you sleep better and it helps you sleep quicker. I've noticed that as well, that when I'm in a tropical country and I'm trying to fall asleep, it's much harder than when I'm in a cold country. When I'm in winter in London, it's much easier to sleep than when I go on holiday to Colombia and I have to sleep in 30-degree weather and it's just much harder. Then the final thing which you can do is to cut out food completely at least 2 hours before you go to bed and stop drinking liquids 1 hour before you go to bed. This is so you can take your last wee, your last shit, and then you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to do that, because you know that feeling of having to piss in the middle of the night and it just interrupts your sleeping patterns. To make sure that doesn't happen, ensure you have your last meal 2 hours before and stop drinking liquids 1 hour before bed. On top of that, cut out caffeine at midday. By 2 p.m. latest, you should be having your last coffee or anything like that. You can have a Coke later, but ideally you don't want to have anything that has high levels of caffeine after midday, because then you're more likely to find it harder to sleep at the right time. And one final thing I forgot to mention was obviously don't go on your phone 1 hour at least before bedtime. And if you are seeing screens for whatever reason it may be, then try and invest in some blue light blockers. Those will really help you, and to stop that blue light entering your system from your eyes absorbing that light, you're going to try cut it out before bedtime and your quality of sleep will significantly increase. I promise you that for sure. Now, habit number 2 is one that a lot of young men struggle with, especially nowadays. I don't think our grandparents or even our parents had this problem, but it just seems to be this generation, Gen Z, which is having this problem the most, and that's going to be porn and masturbation. And it's just one of them ones that you just have to take a heavy hit on and you have to eliminate. As hard as it may be, you have to cut that shit out and get your mind right, because at the end of the day, porn and masturbation is just a time killer, a spirit killer, and your parents, your grandparents, your family would never be proud of you for seeing this type of content. Watching too much porn floods your brain with dopamine, so your reward system gets fucked up, because what used to be normal, natural dopamine has now turned into this artificial rubbish which you are fed. You're being trapped. These evil companies are feeding you this. They are luring you into traps, and you cannot fall into these traps. You cannot fall low to these companies. days, because at the end of the day, it's fake dopamine. You might feel good in the moment, but 2 hours after, you're going to get regret. You're going to get a spike in dopamine because your brain is not used to getting that much dopamine in such few short seconds. We as creatures are adapted to get dopamine for hard things. We get dopamine for exercising. We get dopamine for having sex, for fucking a woman, but not for watching another guy fuck a woman and then jacking our shit off. That shit's not going to do any. So obviously, if you keep doing it over a long enough time frame, then it's just going to blunt your dopamine reward system. And that messes with libido, it messes up with your motivation, and it ultimately leads to a drop in your testosterone levels. And that's actually scientifically confirmed. Now, I don't want to be one of them guys that tell you masturbation is bad 100%. I'm also not going to tell you masturbation is good, because it's not. When you think about it, masturbation is what beta males do. They have no woman to fuck, so they just jack their shit off. Now, I want to make it clear though, masturbation with porn induced into it is much worse. If you're going to masturbate, you have to do it without one. You shouldn't be masturbating at all. But if you are, and you can't stop for whatever reason, you can't stop touching your shit, then do it without one. Because when you induce porn into masturbation, that's when you lead to an increase in prolactin. And that's ultimately what leads to a drop in your testosterone. Because think about it, your motivation also drops. It means you're putting in less reps at the gym. You're more likely to eat shit food. And it just reduces your masculine drive, your essence. Women can feel that as well. So by watching porn and by masturbating, you're not only decreasing your testosterone, but you're making it clear to women that you're not the right partner for them, because you're not that pure masculine. They can't feel that masculine essence from you. So to fix this, I recommend, if you're heavily addicted to porn and masturbating, then go on a dopamine detox. What that means is deleting your social medias, deleting or putting a limit on the amount of porn you're watching, and trying to reset your dopamine receptors, trying to get them used to the natural level of dopamine, getting joy from the activities which you should actually be getting joy from. Do this for like around a month or two, and I would also recommend putting a limit on the amount of time you spend on social media apps. So let's say Instagram 30 minutes, TikTok 30 minutes, YouTube 30 minutes, because that's going to lead you to waste less time and actually use your days better. But I want to make it clear, this is not only for testosterone. This is, if you're like suffering with this habit, then you need to get your mind right. You need to do a dopamine detox, not only to increase your testosterone back up, but also for mental clarity. Now, habit number 3, which is killing your testosterone, is a diet on low fat. Now, let me make myself clear. When I mean fat, I mean avocados, I mean meats, I mean things which actually give you real, natural, organic, healthy fats. I don't mean processed foods. You want to completely avoid processed foods. Cut out bacon, cut out the burgers, cut out the nachos, cut out everything. All the fatty foods, all the processed fatty foods. You want to aim for salmon. You want to aim for eggs. You want to aim for avocado. You want to aim for flaxseed. You want to aim for walnuts. All of these contain healthy fats. And studies actually show that men who consumed more fats, more healthy fats than other men, had 15 to 20% higher testosterone production. So the men who didn't consume healthy fats had 15 to 20% lower testosterone. So the fix for this is very simple. Just optimize your diet for success. Cut out the processed foods and focus on organic, real, nature-provided foods. Eggs, meat, chicken, nuts. All of these foods are raw, they're clean, and your body thanks you, and it rewards you with higher testosterone. You feel great throughout the day, and it's a real life changer and testosterone changer. The 4th habit, which is making you produce less testosterone, is being very stressed. Now, I want to clarify, stress is a good thing, but it depends on your mentality and how you think about the concept of stress as a whole. If you believe stress is bad for you, then that's what's going to happen. Stress is going to be bad for you. You've probably heard before that your success is correlated to the amount of stress which you can handle. I believe that to be true. I believe Elon Musk is probably the most financially successful person in the world because he can handle the most stress and put the most weight on his shoulders. But it really comes down to how you think about this stress. If you think stress is bad for you, that it's going to kill you, then that's exactly what it's going to do. And there have been studies conducted to prove this concept. But the men who think that stress is a good thing and strive to put more stress on themselves, those men live longer. You have to think of stress as a good thing. If you think of stress as a bad thing, then your cortisol levels increase. And cortisol is the stress hormone, which directly inhibits testosterone production. School pressure, social media addictions, relationships, bad relationships which have you constantly stressed, all these things add up. They all compound and they all decrease your testosterone. One study found that men who had significantly high amounts of cortisol and were chronically stressed had 40% less testosterone than an average male. So the fix to this is really quite simple. You want to focus on activities which relieve you of stress and they make you feel more content and more clear inside your mind. Think about it. The gym. After you leave the gym, after a good good session, you're never like upset. That's because you have endorphins and you feel happier after working out, after playing a sport. You can also journal. Some people find journaling as a very mind clearing and stress clearing activity. You can also try meditation, and I'll recommend in the morning. It's really, really, really impactful, and possibly cold showers. Some people find that cold showers cool them down and just get them ready for a more productive day. Personally, I don't take cold showers. Just wanted to put that out there. I stick to warm, but I'm still fine. You can do whatever is good for you and just implement it to try and reduce that cortisol level and make yourself feel more calm. Now, the fifth habit, it's probably an unexpected one, and that is living a sedentary lifestyle. The more sedentary you are, the lower your testosterone production will be. And it's self-explanatory. When your body exercises, more testosterone is produced. You're putting your muscles at work. Being sedentary leads to fat loss, especially around the belly. And in a process called aromatization, your testosterone is converted into estrogen. I also want to make it clear, too much cardio can also be bad because it can like reduce or destroy your muscle mass and it'll increase your cortisol. So that's the reason a lot of runners have this sort of weird physique where they have like a little pot belly and they have like really skinny legs and arms. So too much cardio is bad for you as well. You want to focus on strength training, resistance training. So you want to lift heavy weights at least 3 times per week. Focus on push-ups, chin-ups, squats, deadlifts, and other compound movements, which are the fastest booster of testosterone and male vitality in a natural way, obviously. But overall, those are the 5 worst habits in terms of testosterone production. If you found this video valuable and you enjoyed, then obviously leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.